Hey everyone, we are live and welcome to the Typology interview. So I have to apologize. It was my bad. I sent Lawrence the wrong link. So sorry about that, dude. Sorry
No
about that,
problem.
guys.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, I don't know your type. Apparently only a couple people know your type. So we're gonna get a chance to guess this time. Should be fun.
I know you seem like you prefer that.
Well, when you can do it, you can do it. Okay, so let's get started. Like, how did you get into this?
A few years ago, it showed up on like my YouTube, like the algorithm recommended it, so I looked into it and did the
What's
test.
it?
And the personality, like
Just
it thought
personality space in general.
yeah, like it thought in particular I was a INTJ.
Okay.
And I Googled it and saw what it was, and it sounded familiar.
Right.
I kind of resonated with it a little bit, and let me think. I took a few tests, and they all came back INTJ. I went to two typologists on YouTube, and one said pretty much 90% INTJ, but it was a possibility I could be another type.
Okay.
And then I decided that wasn't clear enough, so I went to another typologist who doesn't really play nicely with the rest of the community. So I thought he'd be the perfect person.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he also said I was an INTJ, so I thought, okay,
fascinating.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to get typed by objective personality like I wanted to, but it was so long, and I got confirmation from those guys that I wasn't going to do it. But then when I wanted to get on your show, you were like, well, you really got to kind of go through the system and get typed by officially. So that's when I did, which...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because that really...
Yeah, because they gave you a different type, I'm sure, than
Yes.
INTJ. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you seem to be a sensor for sure. And probably an SE.
What makes you say that?
Just stating facts and changing the channel. A good consumer report.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, the SE is always seeing the NI. Like, that's what you're always focused on, always looking for, right?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, right. I can't really see if you're feminine or masculine. I was thinking feminine at first, but then you seem to have a good memory, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. Okay, so then you got typed by objective personality, and you were surprised. Did it take you a while to process?
It took me a day.
A day.
I was so sure, and because I was so sure of what I saw, and then after I got the results back, I was thinking about it and going back through my mind, and I came to the conclusion they were correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you ended up seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're. So it's really interesting that you were going to other people to get that feedback on what type you were. So there's play there somewhere. So like, is that a consume play or a play consume? One of those two.
It's a play consume.
Play consume. Yeah. So you were going there. You're doing the pinging thing. Yeah. Cool, man. So like SET then?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. All right, really cool. So tell me about like how you're seeing your SE. How did you come to terms with that?
I'm always okay. So do you want to know how I see it now, or do you want to know like in the beginning? Because I didn't really see it.
Talk about the evolution of it. Yeah. Because SE is hard to see, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I could barely see it at first, and now it's sort of like it seems like it's becomes much stronger. Just so many things interest me, Like they just really grab my attention. I have to kind of be consciously aware of what I put in front of me, because I'll lock on and just start diving into it. I'm very I'm very aware of spatially. I've noticed that, like
Right.
just movements. I seem to notice things that other people don't notice, like little details in the sensory. I'm aware of how far something kind of is from me, how close it is, that kind of thing. If a noise happens out of the random, like I just kind of pick up on it. I seem to have this thing with truth, which I think comes from the SE.
Okay.
Like I kind of just don't really like to lie. I only want to speak the truth, and people don't really.
Yeah. Just like honest about what is.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't really like to BS about it. But like we're going to tiptoe around this. That's not what it is, and that's not what it is.
Right.
So I see that, and there's also like,
because it's not personal. It's just what is. Like you just.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, there's something I think this has to do with SE, where I will sometimes interpret information as sort of literal.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen very often. But sometimes the information that comes in is sort of disconnected until somebody says something, and then I can click it all together into a bigger piece to sort of put in the framework. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. Are you also like, I know like the SE over and I, we're all looking at differences, and it's like anytime there's a pattern, we want to break it. We want to see, no, this one is different. It does, like this, where are the edge cases? We're not interested in what we're like the main pattern is. We're looking at all the edge cases in those patterns. Do you see that as well?
I only see that when I disagree with somebody about something. I can definitely see it then. Like, right. If I'm just observing something on my own, then I don't really notice it. Like sometimes I'll compare and contrast things, but other than that, not really. But if I'm in a discussion with someone and we're disagreeing, I see all the differences. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so in the chat here, we got Sadet thinks your blast last. I'm not disagreeing, Sadet. Your blast isn't that bad, but you seem to be kind of aware of your patterns. So what's going on there?
I have masculine NI.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what it is.
Inbar was also guessing FF here, and I think you're right. Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah. Good. Cool. So pretty much we have your type fleshed out except for that last animal, right? So it is blast last?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been practicing on my YouTube channel, so that.
Oh, nice. Let's send it to me. We'll put it in the description. Yeah.
Oh, it's just Lawrence Peterson. It's nothing. I don't think anybody'd be interested, but.
Oh, right. You wrote a comment here on the side too, if you want to get. But I know. I mean, like people who have the same type as you or suspect the same type as you, they might want to check it out a little bit more and compare themselves. So,
okay.
Yeah. Or get to know you more. Yeah.
I'm not that interesting, but sure.
None of us are. We're all really boring. I promise.
I don't know. You seem pretty interesting to me, but I didn't hear you say that about yourself.
Right. So feminine SE2, like your memory doesn't seem that bad. So what's going on with that?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, for me, the reason I thought I was INTJ was because the whole masculine demons, and my saviors were, I could see them, but they were so below the surface. And it's like, since I found out my type and really been looking into it, it seemed like they've gotten stronger and stronger. So I don't know, maybe that's something to do with that.
Yeah. I mean, like, Do you notice that you're forgetting details, or do you
I
notice
never
that?
noticed it. I never
No.
noticed it, and then my wife used to point it out when we would have disagreements. That you wouldn't maybe you wouldn't settle the disagreement right then. You had to wait for things to calm down. Then I couldn't remember the details that bring them back later, and she kept pointing that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Do you find yourself writing things down a lot?
No, I try to, but I really don't.
Yeah. Or like, what about in terms of do you ever get in any physical altercations or things like that? Or
Nah, I'm a pretty sizable guy, so
right. Do you
I
get
don't
into
really get
any of
that.
the accidents or things like this
No,
in your life? None.
no.
No.
Got into a bike accident once, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm just wondering how we can flesh that out. But like the masculine NI you're seeing then, like that's holding on to things
Oh
that,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. And that's probably where the INTJ thing resonated.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really. Before I really started sort of studying my type, I couldn't see the ST at all. I don't. It would come out occasionally, but it really wasn't there. Um, but now I see it much more now when I talk to people, I can see it more. But I think I come off NF a lot, so I think that's what they were picking up on.
Well, like because NF, you're not sleep last. It's double masculine, and yeah, that should be all you're seeing all day. Those are your demons.
Yeah.
Masculine demons, yeah. So, like, what kind of sleep have you built up? Like, what kind of changes are you making to your life gradually to make sure that you're, I don't know, you feel fulfilled, you feel happy?
I've been pushing towards like becoming an artist. I want to do that professionally. So I've been focused on that. Reading, trying to, I guess, personal growth, I guess is I
Yeah,
guess what you would call it. I've been trying to, since I got my type, and this might sound really cheesy, I've been trying to hit like the Super Saiyan version of me. So
yeah,
I wanna get that next level.
right. How like do you do you feel like getting that next level you need like some extreme big thing to happen, or it's just consistency?
I think it's consistency.
Yeah,
I think it's consistency and those improvements in those areas, just subtly building upon, um, subtly building upon to something greater, I guess. But the problem I run into is it's really hard to track that. It's hard to see it. Like I know since my savior has come on board, things have definitely changed, but I don't, still don't know. Still don't think I'm at that next level yet.
yeah. And are you seeing like the tribe stuff now? I guess you were kind of seeing it with the INTJ as well. Do you see the tribe thing that you're sort of obligated to the tribe? You're obligated to, yeah.
I hate it.
You get the permission. You need the
Yeah.
permission.
It's the only thing I don't like about TE. I really don't like it. It feels like I'm a slave to the tribe. And before it didn't feel like that. It's only now that my savior has gotten stronger. It very much feels like that.
Were you not noticing it before, or just?
I would notice it on occasion. Like if a tribe member called me and needed something, then I would pretty much drop what I
Right. Also
was
the savior
doing.
play. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, I noticed it, but it wasn't really an issue. But now it definitely feels more like I need permission from the tribe before I do certain things.
Yeah. And like, are you seeing the blast last too? It's hard for you to.
Yes, but again,
I
when my saviors got stronger, that changed. I mean, I didn't change, but before I would think things but just not say it. And then like once the TE got stronger, it was like I almost couldn't control myself from stop saying it. Sort of like you're familiar with Star Trek, right? Right.
Yeah,
You're on the
sure.
bridge and a ship comes up and they're like, oh, well, everybody stop. We'll hail them. We'll see what they want. And then you're standing out there and all of a sudden this torpedo just goes out there. You're like, I never gave the order to send a torpedo. That's how my blast was coming out. Like it was just almost automatic. And now it's sort of like I have to reel that in a little bit. You know, I had to kind of grab the controls on that because I keep having issues with the tribe where they don't like it. People don't like it.
People don't like blast, and especially in the blast last mode, it comes out in a very swingy state. So they like it even less in that way, for sure.
Yeah.
And it gets discouraging. Like, yeah, so like the Savior Blast, they'll do it in a confident, balanced state. They'll do it on the front end, and they'll fail at it over and over again and just be okay with that. Whereas like the blast last, you'd be really sensitive there. It's like, okay, I tried this, it failed. I'm never going to do it again. That was a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So my issue.
Where do you see it? Where are you trying to funnel people to sometimes? Where are you trying to get everyone on board?
I'm usually just trying to give them missing information. And often people take it as you're trying to correct me.
Yeah, that I do too. That's the consume, I think. It's like, oh, I got consume on that. Oh, actually, there's this. I got this. And it's really annoying. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see the double activated consume too? Is that, like, I see behind you, you've got a whole bunch of stuff there.
Yeah. I can see that all my life. Like always reading books, novels, something.
On the lookout for opportunities all the time too.
Yes.
That big break.
Yeah, I mean that'd be nice, but yeah, I don't see that as often, but I do see it from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, question.
I do see the obligation to censor, but you don't have a lot of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What's your question?
So you also have your site Savior consume, correct?
Yeah. Okay. Double masculine STs consume. Yeah.
So when you're talking to people, do you get like you're going too deep? People don't like you it's like they give you an answer and then you want more and more, and then people get upset. They don't want to give you more. That's a problem I keep running into.
They don't want to give you more, like they don't want to explain things more to you?
Yes.
Like they're over explaining it to you and you're just not getting it?
No. Sort of like they may have come to a decision or, I believe this or I feel this way. And I'm like, well, have you considered this? Have you considered that? And then they get very upset. That's a problem.
Yeah, the worldview. Yeah, that's the worldview breaking thing where it's like, I'm just going to keep questioning your worldview and they feel attacked by it.
Because,
yeah.
That's a really big problem I'm having right now. I don't really. Yeah.
What do you think a good solution to that would be?
The solution I come up with is stop asking questions, but I don't really want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also, I feel the burden of the EPs too, as well, where it's just like, asking the questions makes them realize the answer themselves. It's not even if they tell it to you. It's like you can't blast at them. So how do you get information to them? You ask them the right questions and then I don't know if you get that too. You want to make them question reality, make them question.
Yes. Yeah. Just usually that's all I'm doing. But in turn, I'm trying to get them to do that as well.
Right.
But a lot of them don't want to do that.
Yeah. So most people have their worldview. They have, they don't want it disrupted. They don't want to take anything that'll change that. And that's just very foreign for people like you, because all you're doing all day is trying to break worldviews.
So how do I know what my own worldview is? Like, is it one thing or is it just several small things? Like,
what do you think it is? Have you narrowed down on anything? Except for worldviews or BS?
I mean, there are certain opinions I have about things, but I'm also very, very open.
Right.
I have more of a live and let live, take what you want, leave the rest. You don't really need to commit. Like, I don't want to chain myself down by saying I'm this thing and that thing. I just want to be open. I want to be free.
That's a very consume. Yeah, that's really good explanation. Good description of what consume is. Yeah. OE and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, man. So like the funny thing is the blasters, they look like they're not doing that, but what they're actually doing is like they're trying to help people. They're trying to get things. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's hard to see it, but I've heard it.
Yeah. Like it's also trying to eliminate consume, like the blasters as well. They're trying to like the live and let live, just take what you need, all that kind of stuff. Like they want to control what people are taking. They want to make sure that everyone's getting what is fair and things like this. Make sure that no one's left behind, all that kind of stuff.
I can agree on somewhat the what is fair part, but at the same time, you can't dictate what somebody else gets if they want to go get more than what you consider to be fair. I mean, if they can achieve that.
Okay, yeah. So this is good. So you've got an opinion. You've got an opinion on a worldview that anti-blast, pro-consume sort of thing. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because like I can see that perspective too, because that's where I'm at, right? And it feels like, okay, if everyone was just living like this, then everything would be fine, right? No worries. But then like what happens if someone is unable to take from themselves for whatever health reasons or situational reasons, things like that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with helping someone out in that situation. It's when you try to restrict other people.
Well, that's the thing. Because like if you have to restrict other people for this person to get what's due, because everyone's just taking what they want, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See, I don't know if you guys have seagulls or pigeons or cats or wild cats or whatever, but it's all like you can see it play out there too, where it's like the weakest ones, the ones who can't take what they need, just start. Like it's the big ones that just come in. They peck out everyone else. They protect their territory and their food, and no one gets anything.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
Yeah, I see.
Right, but like that's the risk of just letting consume run rampant. It's you need someone to control us.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of like freedom within structure.
Yeah,
you can do what you want within certain ranges, type of thing.
Yeah, but then that means you need some kind of control to say what the ranges are.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's a tough thing to navigate, I suppose.
Yeah. But I mean, so like, does that trigger you when someone is taking too much?
Yes.
You see that? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like that, and I do feel like it should be fair. I don't want to restrict anybody from trying to achieve more, but at the same time, it should be fair. Everybody should be okay as well before you try to get extra.
Right. It's like don't take seconds before everyone's had first, sort of thing.
Right.
Because like, so where is the responsibility for everyone to take first? Do you feel like it's the people that need to take the first? Like everyone needs to take what they need to take?
Yes, and for those who can't, someone should assist.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say responsibility on who has to assist, but usually there are good people who want to assist and will step up and assist.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of where that dichotomy is. And so you do see the need for blast, I guess, in some way, but
yeah. It's annoying though. It's very annoying. It's annoying because of the consume, but it's really annoying because of the sleep.
Right. Go ahead. Explain it.
Oh, just because it's like I'm always trying to sleep, and blast is just annoyingly I think Ikram said it. She was like, "Blast moves sleep," and when she said it, I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, I resonate with that."
Yeah. I had something there. Okay, well, we'll change gears a little bit. Have you, so since you've gotten your type, how long has it been since you got your type?
Maybe 4 months, 4 or 5 months, something like that. Yeah, about
Right.
4.
Okay. So since then, have you started trying to work on that NI a little bit, or?
Not really. Like, I feel like my demons were almost in a certain way fully formed. Like, I didn't really have, like, when they described the savior issues, I didn't really have those issues until now. Like, until the saviors got stronger. So like I knew.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe you just didn't notice them.
Possibly, but I could see the SE issues a little bit, but the NI just seemed so dominant. Like I always knew what I wanted to do.
What were your goals when you were younger?
I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be an artist since like first grade.
Right.
And then,
Want to, right?
yes.
So why aren't you an artist?
I had an FI issue that took me a while to kind of work through. And I had to kind of learn how to. Okay, so originally I wanted to be a comic book artist, and then that changed. And then I wanted to be a painter, and I had to find out how to paint. Like I had to take classes, read books, whatever I could to learn how to paint, and then actually become a painter.
Consume, yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
but I get your point. Like, well, what took you so long? If that's the case,
what's still taking you so long? What's going on?
I know. Yeah. So yes, maybe you're right. Maybe I just didn't see them. And I could definitely see that. I mean, I was just having fun. Like in my 20s, I was kind of like a sheepdog. Like I didn't really have any desire other than I wanted to do the art thing. And then whenever I hung out with friends, it was just whatever they wanted to do. My art thing only really came into play when I was by myself. And then when I bought a home and sort of separated from my friends more often, then I was definitely more, that's when the painter thing kicked in. When I was more alone, the devil masculine sleep, I think, took a much bigger hold.
Yeah. So where is, like, do you have art today? Do you have examples, online pictures? Like where?
You want to see a piece?
Yeah, why not? Sure. Yeah. You got a fellow SE here too.
Can you make that up?
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to do like fantasy novel covers and whatnot.
Okay. So you have contact if anyone wants to like get some art done. Are you setting up a blaster scan, some kind of website, anything?
No. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How long will it take you to set something up like that?
I don't know. I've done stuff, but never connected everything. Like I had a website, but it didn't have enough artwork. Then I took the website down, produced more artwork, trying to build up a portfolio. I bought printers to make prints and whatnot. Like it's like all these things that are supposed to connect together for the one NI purpose, but couldn't quite get them to align.
Yeah. Yeah. So the interesting thing is, like, do you see, since you're like a visual person, you should technically be more interested in colors and in two-dimensional ideas and less three-dimensional things? Do you get that?
I do not get that.
No. Like I don't know, when you visualize the world in like two dimensions a little bit, less three dimensions, in like more colorful palettes.
Do you mean like physically? Like what do you
when you visualize things? Okay, so just tell us how do you visualize things? Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you see pictures and images in your head before you're drawing? No.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see things in my mind, like when I'm just thinking about stuff or whatever, but before I'm drawing, not really. I just kind of have a rough idea.
So what inspires you? What do you see when you're drawing?
I don't know. I just I have an idea of the image I want to create, and then I kind of flush it out as I go.
Yeah.
But I do like color. I have noticed that I do really like bright colors and certain colors, stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, the tester modality too. That's something that's not very fleshed out either. Do you see that that's some kind of modality for you, testing?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like a sensitivity, or at least to me, what I've noticed, it seems like a sensitivity to like touch. Like if ever I'm grappling with someone, I just seem to know like where to grab them and where to move to do whatever it is, how to manipulate their body, how I want to manipulate it. Also, when doing tasks, I'm very in control of the touch, like how much force is going into it, how much, when I pick it up. I'm not explaining this very well, but
no, yeah. You're like no excess force, just enough, like that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's really good.
Yeah, like I don't know, just like you see those things where I'm trying to think of where I see it, but it's like you just gliding in and like slowly things like just glide in and just ease into place, sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just coasting along and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there also seems to be like a slight sensitivity to like I don't know, like maybe light. Like it's like I'm aware of, oh, this light is too bright or this is too dim. Like I don't know, it's just a subtle,
like a very nuanced way to look at it. Yeah.
And that's what
it's
I
not
mean
an all or nothing. Like, it's not a polarized.
Right. So like when I say about distance, like things how far they are from me, that comes into play there too.
Yeah. So Natalie does have a question. Do images stick with you in your memories, or is it more of a blank screen that you pull real world examples to help create?
Images pretty much stick in my memory. Like I seem to remember things sort of like in chapters. But if you ask me something in particular, I can usually kind of zoom in. Like if I have something to kind of focus on. I've noticed that with my vision too. Like my wife would always complain, like it was right there. Like they ask you to go look for something and they go look for. I'm like, I don't see it. Like I need something.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens to all of us.
100%. Yeah. So it's like I need something to focus on to kind of lock in.
Yeah. Do you have a fear of consequences, or are you just unaware of what the consequences of things are, or not even thinking about that?
No, I'm very aware of consequences. Yes, I do have a fear of the consequence. I think it's like the SE wants to jump in, and the NI is like, whoa, come back. Let's
right.
You
have a bit of breaks with the sleep, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your buddy here, tester
Hey,
is funny to explain. For me, as the lead FSE, tester is good at simulating physical reality to better predict efficient movements. Does that make sense to you? That includes both
no,
visual and audio to create spatial.
no, okay, so I thought, because I watched this video and like some of the stuff about leaving your body I really related to, and I thought that we would see things very similarly, but we do not. Like some of the stuff I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I get that with him a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I'm trying to understand but yeah, no.
Yeah. What's this leaving your body thing? What is that?
I don't get it as much now because of the saviors have gotten so much stronger, I guess. But before, when I was in like sleep, I can often just sort of leave my body. Like I'd be lost in a thought,
Oh yeah.
sort of going through, and like the thought would be so strong that my body would react sometimes. Other times it would be where I was talking to someone and then it's like a second me would appear outside of my body and it's tracking the person I'm talking to and it's also tracking me. And then on occasion I would get a third me to sort of like get this overhead view and it's tracking all of us. I have no explanation for this, but
yeah, I'm wondering if that's TE. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's tracking the tribe spectrum a little bit. Hearing the tribe, like arguing with yourself, hearing what they would say in response to what you're saying.
No. It's more like you ever see like a show where they're out studying animals in the wild, and they're looking at the animals like, look at it. Why does it do this? Or why does it do that? It's very like that. It's very disconnected, and it's looking at it almost from I guess
like a third person. Yeah, I don't want to interfere. You know, if the lion kills it, that's good. Like that's what I wanted to catch.
Yeah, and it's almost like I'm studying me. I'm studying the other person. Yeah, it's very disconnected in that form.
Right. Yeah.
So often I feel like
observing. Yeah, because as an observer, you're aware that like you can influence what's happening if you're observing. So like the less you influence it, the more pure the observation would be. That kind of thing.
Yes, in a way, but also I'm just cataloging the event. I'm just watching, observing, studying for no other reason than, I don't know, just to do that. It's often like
so like you feel like you are actually on autopilot then when you're in the situation and like the real you is observing it from the outside.
Yes. It's often like, yeah, there are distinct me's at play. Like people just seem like it's gonna sound bad, but they seem like just a scientist looking at a petri dish or something. Like, oh, look at the germs do what they do. Why do they do that? Yeah.
Also, I mean, in relation to people, I get that too, because that's the observer side of you as well. It's just yeah.
Also, I've seen it where almost like the feeling and the thinking split. So like there was one time where I was talking to my wife and she was telling me this story about her friend that her daughter was dating and her daughter was like 11 or something. And she asked me, like, when can our daughter date? And I was like, oh, well, we'll talk about it when she's 16. And she keeps going on about it. And I'm like, we'll revisit this conversation when she comes 16. But like the thinking me has stepped out of my body and was kind of like observing both of us. Yeah. And I could see the feeling me was trying to restrain myself from like kind of hawking out a little bit. Like I could feel my chest beating and like just gripping the chair.
That's not a question you were anticipating answering at that moment, I guess.
Yeah. And the other me is like, hey, look, you should calm down. Our daughter's only 3. Like, logically, this makes no sense to be upset about this.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the emotion was not carrying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so have you gone and sleep processed that now, so you're more able to talk about it?
I think so. Yeah.
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 It still feels weird to talk about something that's so far in the future that you don't need to think about yet. There's so many other fires to put out now.
Yes. Yeah. It just logically it's of no consequence at the moment, so there's no need to go into it.
Yeah. So why do you think your wife was bringing this up?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think she was bringing it up? Just because of the thing that was happening with the 11-year-old?
Yeah, she was bringing it up because of that, but I'm sure when she noticed the reaction, she probably just enjoyed
poking at you.
Yes.
All right, I get that. Yeah, getting the rise out of you. Yeah. I don't know. What do you like in those? Like, do you poke at people too? Do you try to get rises out of people? Does that ever happen? Are you a little bit of a troll sometimes?
Sometimes in the play, I can be. It's like I'm not exactly sure what it is, what's going on when the play is going on, like what the purpose of it is. But at the same time, I somehow just know it's like Tetris. Like when the block comes down. Wait, can you see? Okay, when the block comes down and it's like you got the formation at the bottom, you're like, okay, this piece will go perfectly right here. I somehow just know what to say perfectly to get it in the spot. So sometimes I know what to say to just poke at you a little bit. And hey, what happens if I keep just poking you right here? So yeah.
Yeah. And just do bad things happen when you do that, or funny things happen, or what's the deal? Have you noticed you don't do that to designers anymore?
It doesn't get too out of hand. It doesn't get too out of hand. Yeah, I'm not really an asshole type of person, or at least I don't think so. But I just like to joke and have a little fun every now and then, and just to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too as the masculine DI, where I like to smack people's DI, see how much I can smack it to see when it starts pushing back. Yeah.
Okay, I've never tried that. I might have to give that a shot.
I mean, I think that's what you were doing, basically. You were describing that kind of thing, where it's like you hit the person's DI to see how it reacts. It's like some people you could just tell, it's like, I better not hit too hard. They're going to blow up. Like, they can't handle this.
Yes. Yeah, I do notice that.
Right. And then other people, it's just like, okay, they're going to punch back at me and I'll punch back at them. And it's kind of a game yeah. You get that one too?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay. What else, man? Where are you going from here? Do you have a goal with typology or just enjoying it?
Just enjoying it for the moment.
Yeah.
I've been since the TE has kicked in. So it feels like, I know I wasn't, but it feels like, knowing what I know, that I was like a savior FI, and then I kind of transferred to a savior TE. And I say that because I could see the TE come into play when other people needed my help, but I couldn't really use it for my own benefit. And
I mean, that sounds like TE. Yeah.
Yeah. So like now I'm at, like, since they've gotten stronger, it's like I can do it for myself now. And it's totally changed my processing. So like just comprehension. Just like when I look at stuff, I just don't see things the same. So that's caused me to sort of really look into like how the difference between thinkers and feelers and how that whole thing works. So that's sort of like been an interest of mine.
Yeah.
Since then.
I'll tell you the reason why I'm really skeptical about this, because like before you find an NI pattern, you're not going to see that pattern. You're not going to notice it. Like you're only going to see the SE that's supposed to fit in that pattern, but it doesn't yet because you don't have it. Okay. But then once you get the NI pattern, it's like, okay, now I'm seeing this everywhere. And
Okay,
so
so
that's what I'm wondering if that is what's happening. It's like, okay, now you got the pattern, now you got your type back. You got like what you're supposed to be doing, what your parts are, and now you're going to start seeing it more and more because the pattern is there. It's solid. And then, okay, yeah, this happened. That fits the pattern. That fits the pattern. So I'm wondering if before you just weren't noticing those things, and because you have a feminine SE, you can't really recall if it was happening or not.
Okay, I see your point.
Do you? Okay, good.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I don't think that's what it is. And the only reason I say that is when I had discovered like the type and I had to like go within myself to look for the parts, then I had to go to the tribe and sort of like get feedback. And
why did you have to go to the tribe and get feedback? Where is that from?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But the reason I say that is I had to kind of get what did the tribe see me as? Because I didn't really know that before. It never even occurred to me. And
but again, were you not doing that before? Are you sure you were not going to the tribe and seeing how they see you?
no.
No. So why did you go get typed by two people, INTJ? What was that about?
I wanted to be sure. I wanted like certainty.
So yeah, why go to the tribe?
Because like I'm not a typologist. Like how do I know if I said, hey, all right, that sounds good, which it did sound some similarities. It wasn't. How do I know I'm not just fooling myself? So
Right.
let me go to
So you went to one. Why go to another?
Because the first guy said it wasn't 100% for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
So also like my wife I've been having like issues with my wife as well as other members of the tribe.
Who doesn't have issues with their spouse?
All right, agreed. But okay, so say it like this. If those parts have become amplified, right? So
is your wife agreeing with that? Those parts have become amplified?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She definitely is like, it's so much more difficult to talk to you now.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I want to parse everything. That was not there before. Like that's what I mean. Like when I say my comprehensions changed, I had to go look for an art book and I flipped through the book. And like as flipping through it, I realized like my understanding of this book is not what I thought it was at all. So like that's what I mean. Like when I look at things now, it just seems different. So I have to in some ways reevaluate what I think things are, because what I've established up to this point might not be accurate now because of how I see things.
Again, I'm sorry, dude.
I get it.
I'm really sorry because it's like this is exactly what SE is supposed to be doing anyways. It's supposed to be seeing things as different every time, even though it's the same thing. This time it's different. And like I will do this too. I'll read a passage. The next day I'll read the passage again and I'll get something different out of it. It's like, or I'll watch a movie and then I'll watch it another day and it'll seem different because that's just the SE. Yeah.
I get that because I'll definitely reconsume things, but I mean just my understanding of things just seems to be different. And I think because when I look back, I just come across as very self-indulgent. Like it was just whatever.
So the way I can make sense of that is you definitely like you have a new perspective now on who you are. You have a new perspective on life and who you were and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have a new lens to look at the world through. So that obviously the world's going to look different now.
All right, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like getting to the same destination but going different paths. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like it's the end consequence is the same no matter what. Like I know I wasn't Savior FI, but I just think I wasn't really using the TE for myself. Yeah. So when I looked at stuff, whenever information came in, it was probably processed for the TE. But whenever I wanted to do something, it would seem like it was going through the FI.
I wonder if it's similar to like the Dumbo effect too, where it's, you know, how Dumbo had his magic feather and he could fly because he had the magic feather that helped him fly, but then he loses the feather, and then the little mouse guy who gave him the feather said the feather was never magic. You can still fly, that sort of thing.
Probably, because I asked my best friend about it, who I think is the ISTP, and he says this was always here. Like, you didn't do it as much, but it was always there. So, I mean, I agree, It was always there, but I didn't really have access to it.
Yeah. So, like, do you think it's a negative thing now? Then, like, getting typed for you was a negative experience? Like, it's
not at all.
Thing?
No,
it's
not at all. I think,
thing?
yeah, it's fucking awesome. Yeah.
So, because the way you're framing it, it makes it sound a little bit more negative. Like,
it's negative because I keep having problems with the tribe, but other than that, it is awesome. I have no problems.
Oh God! For me as a decider, that's probably why I'm projecting on it that it's negative, because it's like, what problems with the tribe? That's definitely what I'm trying to avoid. Yeah.
You know how you would say when you were in school and you had problems with the kid, they thought you were always challenging them.
Right.
I'm having those kind of issues.
And that was not there before.
That was not there at all.
Interesting. Yeah. So maybe you feel like you have you're higher on them on the totem pole now or something like that. Like, or how are you triggering? Because what I was doing, I was triggering them in that way, where it's like, I don't know, I wasn't sensitive to where I was putting them and where I was putting myself when I was interacting with them.
Yeah, I think I'm doing that. Like,
right.
when I'm talking, I am not tracking the feelings. I'm just strictly into the logic, and I think that's where the problem is coming from.
Yeah, Demon NF too.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, talk about your sleep a little bit. Like the power of double masculine NF sleep should be like, your vibe is unmovable. Like, once you found who you are and what kind of behavior you want and what kind of person you want to be, that's it. That's who you are. Do you see that?
Yes, but at the same time, I'm always looking for growth. I'm always looking to be better, to improve.
No, because I'm wondering when like that question about your daughter dating hit you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, it hit you in whatever that was. Like, you have something that you want to be, and then that hits you and it changes that, right? Is that kind of what was happening? It's like pushing you to be something else, and you didn't like that?
No, or at least I don't look at it like that. As far as I'm concerned, it really had nothing to do with me. It was just my emotions when it comes to my daughter and my wife are, I think, the only things that are kind of not within my control when it comes to emotions. Like, I could say,
okay,
yeah, all right, no problem. But if you push on that button, sometimes there will be a lot of times there will be a reaction.
Right. And then you're seeing that as something that's not you, and you don't have control over, you don't have responsibility for.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably because they're demons, but I really hadn't thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, because I see that too, where it's like you try to find where to blame your demons on, because it can't be you. You can't be to blame for your demons. It's got to be something somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So, like you said, I'm not in control of my emotions. It's something else, something outside of me.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't really think about that, but yeah. Like, I feel like I'm totally in control of my emotions for anything else, but right. They just seem so powerful when it comes to those two.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that's a negative thing. I mean, that also even shows you care. Like, it's good.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, okay, our buddy here has another comment. I wonder if you relate MM and F sleep is good at summing things up to their most accurate archetype. Do you look at archetypes?
In relation to myself, yes.
Like, what kind of archetypes do you use? What does an archetype even mean to you?
Like I'll relate it to a fictional character of some sort. Like I often relate myself to the character Thanos from the Avengers movies. Like I really.
You relate to yourself like him.
Yeah.
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 So that means you understand him to some degree, like his perspective, what he was trying to do.
Not in. Well, I can understand this process. Like that's not something I would ever do. But at the same time, I feel like I relate to him a lot. Like I feel like perhaps that would be how I would react in those situations. Because it feels to me like he's definitely more so of a thinker, but if you look behind the motivation, it was the feelings that were sort of the push.
You see that in yourself, that like the feelings are your push?
Yes. I feel like the FI is like my power source. I feel like the ST is sort of like my weapons, like my sword and my shield, and the NF is sort of like my core, my, I guess.
Yeah. And like you'll use those weapons whatever, however you see fit, sort of thing. You'll pile on bullshit. You'll just throw any excuse. You just try to move things no matter what. No,
the NF will not allow that. There are principles that won't allow me to do that.
But what if the principle itself is what's driving you to do that? That never happens?
I don't think so. Or at least I can't think of an example.
Yeah.
I feel like, the principle is definitely the important thing, and it won't let me cross certain lines. Also, like I've noticed this when it comes to the TE, like I can't go beyond certain points in logic. Like even if I know that like the person, my opponent, I could probably beat them in this way. It won't let me do it because logically it's not sound, or because principle wise, I might consider it as somewhat dirty play or some sort.
Yeah.
So I feel restricted. Like I feel restricted in how I can use logic. Like I can't just use it in any way.
Is that hard? Is that hard for you, or are you happy about that you're restricting yourself in that way?
I am happy about it. Like I wouldn't want to lose it. That's sort of like a sense of, I guess, intellectual integrity. But at the same time, I suppose it can be frustrating from time to time, but I wouldn't change it. Yeah. I've been against people who have no such restrictions, and hey, I'm not willing to cross that line. You know, if that works for them, it works for them.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have that kind of like that bullshit detector thing where, you know, when someone's putting it on, someone's just making things up? Like, do you feel like you see the FI underneath it all sometimes?
Sometimes, but it's rare. Yeah, I'm really
you're
not
distracted by the shiny logic, the argument,
Yeah, like usually once we get into the logic, I can tell if you're full of shit or not. But I usually don't know right off the front, you know.
Yeah. But like, would you feel obligated to correct people, or you just let them be wrong?
I think I do feel obligated to correct people. That's the problem I'm running into. Yeah. Like, hey, all right, I think here's the missing info. Here's what you're missing because this isn't correct because of this reason. And yeah, they don't really take kindly to that.
Yeah. I mean, like, do you feel like you know that from the get-go? They're not going to like what you're about to say, but you're going to say it anyways? Or that doesn't even process? You don't even get that?
No, it processes.
Yeah, you know that beforehand.
Yeah.
But you don't have the proof. They might take it okay.
I feel obligated to tell them because it is truth. And yeah, that doesn't really mean much to other people.
Yeah. So they would like, I don't know, freak out or get hurt by that sort of thing, and
yes,
flashback. And
my wife is Savior FI, so that happens a lot.
Nice.
Savior feminine FI at that. So
she's typed as well?
No.
This is your assessment. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, yeah, like it's hard dealing with deciders that get offended easy.
Yes, very, very. Usually most of my issues come from deciders, and like Savior FEs. I tend to clash with a bit.
Savior SEs?
FEs.
FEs.
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just have a very FI perspective, I suppose. Like even my best friend, like that's the only thing we tend to clash on. It comes down to a FI.
Do you feel like they're invalidating you in some way?
No. I feel like.
So what button is it actually pushing?
It's annoying. It's like your mom telling you can't do this or you shouldn't think that way. So it's more annoying than anything.
But do you think they might even be right to some degree?
No.
Even if it is. I mean, even if they are right, would you admit
it? I certainly don't feel like that at the time, but it's possible. I mean, I'll always consider the other person's perspective, but no.
Yeah. Well, good. You're able to stand on your own like that. Yeah.
Masculine FI.
Yeah. I mean, it does help with like the DE a little bit, I guess. Doing your own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so like when you do push back on the ST a little bit, do you feel it's because you're obligated to something internal, or are you obligated more to them? Like they deserve the truth. It's for them, or it's for some kind of principle, or it could be both. I don't know.
I want to say it's for them, but it could be a principle. But no, I think it's more so for them. It's just I don't know. It feels like both. It feels like it's for them, but also the principle of truth. You should. This is what is true.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed meeting you. Thank you for reaching out. We're way over time.
Okay. I know we're over time. Did you have like a couple of minutes for questions though?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. We can chat a little bit after too. I just don't want to force the tribe. Like if the video looks too long, people won't even click on it. And I'd rather people like learn something from you. But yeah, let's do a quick question if you have something.
Okay. I just wanted to know how NT Blast works. Like I don't quite understand it. Yeah.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this, but yeah, what I notice when NT Blast comes out is it's just trying to explain how things work and what the mechanics are to other people. It's just it's really funny because whenever someone has a question of how something works or how to do something or how to whatever, the NT Blasters will just like run to the front and be like, "Oh, it's time for me to explain things now. I'm going to explain things." Yeah.
Okay.
Like the tribe needs me to explain things to them. Like, let's just go do that.
Okay. All right.
Do you feel that at all ever?
Yes. Usually it's like some kind of guidance. Here, let me explain this to you. I just want to give you the understanding. You can make your own decisions. I'm not trying to make your decision for you, but let me give you a better understanding so you'll be better equipped to do whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I'm trying to fit that into my own worldview there. Yeah. Cool, man.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, because the only time I really feel myself with that kind of urge is when somebody's coming asking for some kind of guidance, like some kind of issue they're having within their life or dealing with people and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah. See, this is exactly what a savior NT blast would do. I'm not very. They're the ones who want to explain the NT blast to you. So definitely, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Okay.
Cool, dude. Well, okay, stick around. And thank you everyone for watching, and thanks for coming out and sharing and being honest and letting us process you. Have a good one.